Broadcasting from coast to coast. It's the Financial Safari with your host, Coach Pete D'Arruda. You'll hear from some of the nation's top financial professionals. So stick around and find out how to make it through the jungle of the financial world, right here on the Financial Safari.
Welcome to Financial Safari TV. My name is Cynthia Defazio, and I'm joined today by Coach Pete, and Coach is the people's choice. Coach, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Cynthia. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for asking. How have you been?
It's been a fast week.
Yeah.
It seems like we say this every week, but it's been a really fast week. I mean, it seems people are getting more and more curious about their financial situation, which is good, and getting people on the right path, and just making sure people understand the complex financial world, Cynthia. It's a day-to-day job doing that because things change every single day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Coach Pete, what are some common questions that you're hearing right now from people?
Yeah, well, people are just scared about what's going on with their money, and they want to make sure that their retirement money is in a safe place.
Okay.
And so it makes a lot of sense, and sometimes we're told one thing and we're not really sure if it's true or not, and then we go to Google and you get confused on Google a lot of times, or any kind of search engine, because you put in a topic and it gives you maybe 2 or 3 or 5 million choices on where to click.
Sure.
You know, page 1 is where we usually start, and sometimes we don't get past page 1, but we need to know page 1 on search engines, usually people pay to be there. So it might not be the best information, but it's the information that someone wants you to see more than other information. So here's what I do on search engines. I go to about page 20 and work my way up.
Smart.
Instead of on page 1 and go down. Sort of like going to, I love the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay.
And so sort of like going in, and when I used to go, I haven't been in a long time, but I used to go, and they have great meals.
Right.
And the only reason I went, though, was to get a piece of cheesecake.
Right.
But when I got done with the meal, I wasn't hungry for a cheesecake. So it's sort of like going to the Cheesecake Factory and starting with dessert.
Yeah,
that's what I like to do. That's what I start with dessert first. You get your dessert, and then maybe get to the meal, right?
I agree.
What mom told you couldn't do, you do now.
Yeah, I agree. I love that.
Yep. And it's also this is how I read the financial contracts that a lot of folks out there have.
Yeah.
They're gigantic. And glossy brochures a lot of times, a glossy front page and all that, but really we're the financial termites, which I call them, risk, fees, commissions, and things that you don't need in there are hidden sometimes, explained and hidden inside that massive pile of documents they give you. Yeah, and it's we just have to make sure to know where to look. We know where to look. We're a fiduciary planning firm, and so what that means is we have to put our clients before us on everything we do. Sort of like an attorney.
Which is so important.
It is very important. And I don't understand how any person in the financial world couldn't do that, but yet every single day what comes across my desk are these files of, we do a radio show, and on the radio show we talk about brokers who behave badly. And so every week I have to narrow it down to the one we're going to feature on the show. There's too many bad actors out there. So if we did a show every single day, we probably couldn't feature all the bad ones that are out there. So
sure.
What is when you watch American Greed on CNBC, that's where they feature the guy who's the best advisor ever, his best friend, he comes to the churches and the civic groups and everyone gives him money and then he disappears, that kind of thing. Bernie Madoff kind of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just important we know what's going on in our financial situation, and what we spend most of our time doing is helping folks find out where they are right now.
Okay.
And then we find out where you want to go in the future, and then we can customize a plan that'll get you where you really want to go instead of where you think you're going to go, and then you realize right before retirement your planner was lying to you or did not do the adjustments, and now you're in trouble. So, Cynthia, I think every single time people hear about the financial world, they almost don't listen anymore because they say that I've already got a plan, or if I've got a plan, or they're doing the right thing, but how do you really know? So we do what it's called a Coach Pete double check.
Okay.
And we'll give you that second opinion to make sure from a fiduciary standpoint, you tell us what you think is supposed to happen, and that's what the planner told you, and then we'll show you in your contracts if that's right or not. And if not, we can make some simple tweaks and adjustments to get you right back on path.
Coach Pete, are you seeing a lot of people that come in that perhaps don't even know why they have a certain thing in their portfolio? They were just told that it was a good idea?
Oh, all the time.
And
it's funny. It's because hearing something and having something done right are two different things. And maybe it might not be all the planner's fault. It might be yours because maybe you didn't explain exactly what you wanted, or maybe they were listening passively, but not really actively, not listening to what you said. So they were nodding up and down, and they said, it doesn't matter what they say, they're going to get the same product everybody else does.
Yeah.
So we have to know exactly what is going to be in it for us. And so if we're taking a lot of risks, and so we better be getting a good return. And if we're not, then we're taking a lot of risk. We're usually paying a lot more commissions when we take a lot of risk.
Sure.
Whereas we can get in a place, we can isolate some money. We call it the core account. So we can take some money out of your retirement accounts that's at risk. And as we get older, we need to put more in this account. But it's a place where your money will grow when you don't need it. It'll protect your growth, and it'll give you lifetime income. We
Okay.
call it GPI, growth protection income.
Okay.
Because the most important part of a retirement plan is the retirement plan, is the income.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have an income plan, you really don't have a retirement plan. And I want folks to know that. Folks, if you're watching and you say, well, gosh, I think we have a retirement plan, but if you look at your statements and it doesn't show you at this age you're going to get this amount of income that'll be guaranteed for life, you don't have a true retirement plan. So let's make sure people get that.
Absolutely.
It's important.
It's so important.
All you have to do is still call the number you see on the screen, and we'll do it at no cost or obligation throughout the show. The number will be up here, and gosh, we do this every single day, and it's no cost. It's $1,000 value though.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
people say, well, gosh, how much do we have to come see you guys? That's what they say. Anybody who's watching, we will talk to you, and we can help you design a plan. Our strategies do work best for those of you watching with over $1 million saved for retirement. But as long as you have $200,000, we could design that optimal plan to give you that lifetime income that you deserve.
Absolutely. And Coach Pete, I think it's so important to stress how pulling statements out of the mailbox, that's not a plan. Those are just numbers. So you need to actually have a roadmap, if you will, to chart your course for retirement.
Roadmap is a good way to look at it. I call it a treasure map, a retirement treasure map. So let's make sure we are going the right way. Remember the little dotted line, the little X over here with the treasure chest?
I do.
What if we don't really know how we're walking, so when you're down on ground level, you really don't see. So we do a satellite view to make sure you're going the right direction. And so financial and retirement planning is all about looking at the road you're on right now and making sure it really is going to get you to the destination you've been told or you thought you were going to get to. It's pretty simple, but it's complex at the same time because there's so many products and strategies out there, and a lot of them get lost in the noise. And many of them don't make page one of Google.
Of course.
so
There you go.
instead of getting generic information, it's always good to get a customized plan. So we give generic information here on the show because we don't know everybody's situation.
Everyone's different.
But everyone watching could get their own plan personalized by using that one little thing, the phone. You call the number on the screen, we'll waive our planning fee, and we'll make sure that you get at least an hour consultation to educate you on where you are, and then set up another time to show you what we would recommend. And then we'll help you identify those financial termites, risk, fees, commissions. But the big ones that we're seeing, UFOs, unidentified financial objects. What's this in my portfolio, Coach Pete? This broker told me I was investing in real estate. Now I have this thing called a REIT. What's a REIT? So if you have a REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust, you need to have that analyzed because some of them you can't get out of. So you can get in real easy. Getting out's a different story. A lot of commissions made on there too. So we need to make sure that you're not overpaying and you're not getting putting your money in a place that you're never going to get out again.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Absolutely. So really the most important thing is having someone come in and just showing you what they currently have in place. And then you can make sure that it's going to be a good fit for them.
We all feel healthy, right? I feel healthy, but I still go to the doctor every year for that checkup because I want the doctor to tell me I'm healthy. So I had to talk to a doctor one time. He said, Coach, I spend 99% of my time reassuring the worried well. Right? Because you think, oh, I got a headache, I must have brain cancer. You go to the doctor, here's some Tylenol, go home. It's like just a migraine. So what you have to do is know that maybe everything's fine, but knowing it and having it proved and have a certified stamp put on that everything's fine, that's worth its weight in gold. Because you don't want to find out the day before retirement that you really don't have a retirement plan.
Absolutely. Well, Pete, this is the perfect time for us to go ahead and open up the phone lines. Can you tell the viewers what they can expect to receive today?
Yeah, well, I've written 8 books. So we hand a bag to you, so it's like a reverse trick or treat right here. You get to pick 3 of the 8 books. You get a DVD. I've got a DVD on retirement, which is a really good DVD. I'm in there. And it's all about retirement planning. Then we have another DVD called The Power of Zero, which is a major motion picture, a documentary just coming out. A lot of academic professors in there talking about science and math and how to design a zero taxable plan. As we hit retirement. That's why we call it the power of zero. You want to have a return better than zero. You don't want to, you want zero loss and you want zero taxes. And when we hit retirement, the main culprit of a retirement plan not working many times is the government because you forget that your IRA and your 401k, they're 100% taxable when you take the money out.
Of course.
Put yourself in the wrong tax brackets, you could pay more taxes. Who knows what tax rates are going to be in the future? What about capital gains tax? They could be a lot more. So the power of zero, if we design part of our plan for retirement that'll give us streams of income that we don't have to pay taxes on, that's almost like getting a 30 or 40% increase in your retirement income. Just by having the tax positioning. Call it tax planning. So they'll get that tax plan, they'll get their total retirement plan. It's 22 steps we do behind the scenes. We do it in 3 meetings with you, no cost or obligation.
Coach Pete, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the phone lines are now open. Please call the number on your screen. We know you have a lot of questions about how to retire with confidence. Coach Pete has the answers for you. Well, we're going to come back. I want to talk to him a little bit more about the power of zero. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Education is paramount when it comes down to financial planning, especially if you're in the financial red zone. Folks, I'm consumer advocate Thomas Lipscomb here with Coach Pete D'Arruda, best-selling author and the founder of this TV show that you're watching right now, The Financial Safari, as well as a nationally syndicated broadcast radio show that's heard by millions every year. Coach, this is a great box set that we've put together. I appreciate you doing it.
Well, Thomas, the reason why we put together our shows is to educate folks just like you out there, and I've taken some time now, and you've helped me with these, put together these tremendous box sets with workbooks, guidebooks, DVDs, and worksheets in there, all designed to help you get onto the path that you really need to be on in an educational setting, Thomas, in your own house. So all you have to do is call the number you're going to see on the screen, and you can get your very own workbook, guidebook, and set, DVD set, as well as your no-cost consultation.
Welcome back to Financial Safari TV. My name is Cynthia Defazio. I'm joined today by Coach Pete, better known as the People's Choice. Coach Pete, a great show. I love talking to you about planning for retirement and how important it is to have that treasure map, if you will.
Yes.
You also talked a little bit about the power of zero. Can we dive into that a little bit further?
It's very important, Cynthia. There's a couple ways where you can have a 0% tax rate in retirement on some of your money. Number one is a Roth IRA.
Okay.
And a Roth is confusing to a lot of people for some reason. So the Roth, folks, all you basically do, you don't get a tax write-off when you put money into your IRA. Just like the regular IRA, you get a tax write-off, which will lower your tax rate. So let's say you put $5,000 in an IRA and you made $50,000 according to the IRS. Now you'd have $45,000 you pay tax on.
Okay.
So a little bit of reduction.
Okay.
The trade-off there, though, is you got a very small tax write-off, which you're proud of yourself. You don't pay as much in taxes, right? The problem is every single penny you put into that regular IRA and the growth will now be 100% taxable when you take the money out. So you could have gigantic growth over the years. You only got a write-off on $5,000. That's what you put in the IRA.
Okay.
Yet let's say that grew to $50,000 over 30 or 40 years. That whole $50,000 would now be taxable.
Okay.
So you bought yourself a tax increase by getting a very small tax decrease one time.
Yeah.
But the Roth, you don't get the write-off. So if you put in $5,000 in the Roth, you would still pay taxes on that $50,000 income, not $45,000. But now that money would grow, and it would all come out tax-free in the future.
Okay.
And it would go on tax-free. And it would not be subject to the minimum required distribution subject tables that the IRS has, where they make you take money out of your IRA at certain ages in the future. Okay? So the Roth IRA makes a lot of sense. The problem is it's a very slow process, and sometimes people don't qualify for it and that kind of thing. So life insurance is another way to grow a tax-free income.
Okay.
You can overfund a life insurance policy on the cash value side. So you're not paying for life insurance, but you use a life insurance vehicle to build a value that you can now borrow against it in the future. Like you can borrow from your life insurance policy in retirement, and if you do it right, you'll never have to pay the loan back. And when you die, your death benefit will pay the loan off.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So it makes a lot of sense, but a lot of people don't realize that. And then life insurance also has a death benefit. That's why you buy life insurance. That's why the main reason of life insurance is to make sure you leave your family in a better place than you were when you're here, right? You don't want to leave in a worse place. So if you, let's say someone has $1 million life insurance policy, and folks, this is a new concept in the life insurance field, and I think it makes a lot of sense, especially if you already have a policy. You really need to get it reviewed to make sure this is in there, or get a policy that does. But there is a provision in a life insurance policy called a living benefit rider, where when you have a long-term care event in the future, you can take money out of your death benefit. Now, it used to be you wouldn't benefit at all from your death benefit. You had to die for the death benefit. But no, you're here. So that's why they call it a living benefit. You can actually take money out of your life insurance policy's death benefit, tax-free, and use it to pay for your long-term care expenses.
Okay.
How neat is that?
That's really cool.
It's really neat. And so a lot of people forget about that or haven't heard about that. Or if you have a life insurance salesman, maybe they're selling you one product and their company doesn't offer the living benefit.
Yeah.
But these are the strongest companies we've identified. And so what we will offer is a no-cost audit and review of your current life insurance policy to make sure you are in the right place. And if not, if you don't even have a policy, let's see what it would cost to get one. Because this is, if you do it right, you won't have to buy a long-term care policy.
Okay.
But you'll be fully protected for long-term care. And the beauty of this is, let's say you don't have a long-term care event. You still have the death benefit that's going to go on to your next of kin. Or you can have a tax-free income from this if you do it right. So it's a triple play.
Wow.
You've got the long-term care covered, you've got your death covered, like your family's going to be in a better place, and you might even have your tax-free retirement covered.
Wow.
So there's three things that are accomplished with life. And life insurance is the only place in the money world that is guaranteed to pay off. As long as you pay your premiums, you're going to die eventually, you're going to have a long-term care event, you're going to need retirement income. It'll do all those So it makes a lot of sense, folks. So I would recommend that everybody get a review. We are independent, so we can go out there and find any policy that people need, and we can tell you if the policy you're in now is not the right fit too.
Okay.
Because we're fiduciaries too. That's why we have to tell you the right thing. But if there is a better way, Cynthia, if there is a better policy, and maybe it's even more affordable than you're currently paying, wouldn't you want to know about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know we have so many things that are going on in our lives, right? But this is something that makes a lot of sense. It could save you or make you a lot of money and take a lot of that worry out of planning for retirement, planning for long-term care, and planning for that tax situation in retirement. We could reduce that. Well, when you I think you'd want to find out about that right now.
Absolutely. It's so invaluable to get a second opinion.
It is.
Because even if you think that you're on the right track, maybe, just maybe, you're going to find something that is totally a surprise and a shock. I know a lot of people, they're surprised to learn what risk they're actually taking. Like a lot of people, you'll ask them, Coach Pete, and you'll say, what is your risk tolerance? And they'll say, well, I'm moderate. But then what does that really mean? And then you look at their portfolio and they're actually taking high risk.
Many don't realize this too, and that's shocking to me, because just because someone is telling you you're in a good place doesn't mean you really are. That's why, again, the power of the second opinion we talk about, the Coach Pete double check. We'll double check it for you. We'll comb through it. We'll do a forensic financial analysis and X-rays and MRIs of your portfolio, just to make sure that what you think is going to happen really is. And if not, we'll show you what you wanted to have happen. We can show you the turns and techniques that you need to do to get back on track or get on the track you were supposed to be all along. And unfortunately, I hate to have to apologize for the financial world, but the financial world has been infested with a lot of salespeople who are just selling products, not strategies. The first step in a total fiduciary plan is to make sure to identify what people need. And everyone's different. And then once we find out what you need, well, there's plenty of products and strategies. Then we go out and narrow down the products and strategies. We have what we call the financial final four. We show your plan currently against the top 3 that we'd recommend. And then we eliminate them. And then we go to top 2, and then 1. Sometimes yours is the best plan. Sometimes it isn't. One you want to know. And if it isn't, there are ways to get the best one.
Absolutely.
So again, taking the products and strategies only after we identify what you need. It's like a puzzle. There's 1,000,001 pieces, but they only fit in one place.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you have the wrong puzzle, like my brother used to try to make puzzle pieces fit when they weren't supposed to fit. So we need to make sure they really do fit. There was that commercial with for the muffler where they said, we'll make it fit. No, we want it customized. We want it to fit without the monkeys with the sledgehammers coming over.
Absolutely. Because everyone is so unique. Everyone's different. Everyone's needs and desires for retirement is different. Coach Pete, let me ask you, in the financial world, what does advance and protect mean?
Ooh, Cynthia, that's a big one too. That's a really good one.
Okay.
All right. So when you watch the war movies on TV, the team, the country, or whatever, the army that wins is the one that advances, and then they protect their advance, and then they advance again, and they protect their advance, sort of like tug of war, right? You advance, protect, you dig in. And so the most important part of the World War I, the most important tool in the whole army was not a gun, it was a shovel, because they could dig the trenches. So they go forward and dig their trenches. They got the golden shovels out, and now they're getting closer and closer to the enemy, right? And so our enemy now is retirement. So we need to advance and protect our retirement money, advance and protect. So then when we get to retirement, we're going to have a lot more money because we're not losing what we gain. The worst thing is to have like a 30% gain one year, only to have a 40% loss the next year. We've seen that, right? Up and down. It's sort of like going to the beach. Throw a tennis ball out there, you watch it come in and go out, come in and go out. Well, we don't want a portfolio like that because we're never going anywhere. Right? So we want one that we're always, well, number one, we want one that we understand that we're always going to be advancing. We call it growth. We need the money to grow. We need it protected. And then we need lifetime income. We added one more step to the advance and protect. Advance, protect, lifetime income. Because the more money you can advance and protect, the more your checks are going to be every single month. We call it the green flag on the mailbox, or a financial fill-up. The more your check's going to be every single month, all the way through retirement. Now here's another thing. If you set it up right, Cynthia, a true advanced protected income plan will give you a lifetime income that you can never outlive, even if your balance goes to 0 when you're getting checks out. So like it'd be going down to the bank and having a 0 balance, and you withdraw 1,000, they still give you 1,000. That kind of thing. So they'll keep doing that all the way through your life and all the way through your spouse's life, even if you have a 0 balance. That's beautiful. Now, here's another thing. Well, Coach, this is an individual retirement account, an IRA. You know, the IRA stand for your account. Like I have my account, you have your account. If we're married, I have my account, you have your account. Back in the day, if I started taking money from my account and I passed away, you didn't keep getting money. You would, if I have some left over, you would get the leftovers, but you wouldn't get that income.
Okay.
But there's special provision now that will enable both spouses to take advantage of one person's IRA. Because usually one person in the family works out of home and one person works in home a lot of times. So, or somebody has a bigger balance in their IRA or 401k than the other one. Well, now you get to both share because you're married. It should be like that.
Yeah.
So it's a joint income. That means if one of you pass away, the income continues to come for the other one.
Okay.
All the way through your life's, again, even if that balance goes to zero. And here's another thing. If you have a long-term care event, for up to 5 years, some of these will double that income for you. It's not long-term care insurance, but it sure will help to get double income.
Okay.
Again, even if the balance goes to zero, you still get it.
Okay.
That's the beauty for the rest of your lives.
That's amazing.
And here's another thing. Well, people say, well, that's fine, Coach, but what if we die too soon? Well, nobody wants to die too soon. What if there's a big balance here? You guys are the insurance company's going to keep that. No. The insurance companies give whoever's left, like the next of kin, the children or grandchildren, they get a check of whatever the balance is.
Okay.
So
Very
there's
nice.
no shell game, there's no hidden money. It just makes a lot of sense, though, that we understand what's going on, and we know what with us, and we can tell you with certainty what your income's going to be at the guaranteed minimum amount today, even 20 or 30 years from now.
Wow.
So I said guaranteed minimum. Chances are it won't be there. That's if the market would go down every single year, because you get to share in the gain of the market, and then you protect your gains. Share in the gain, protect.
Okay.
Going forward.
Okay.
So chances are the number we give you is going to be a lot lower than the number you're really going to get.
Okay.
Not the other way around, which we see too many times, where they give you this gigantic number, and then you get close to retirement and say that number's not even close. So if we give you the minimum number, it's going to be better. It'll never be worse than the number we give you.
Okay.
So now we can make a real plan, because we're planning around the minimums. And I'm not a negative person. I like positives.
Yes.
But I don't want to fool somebody or make somebody think they're going to get a lot more than they are. Let's show you the worst case, and then let's hope for the best. And somewhere in between is what you're going to have.
Okay.
A lot easier to plan a retirement plan when we know we could survive on the worst case. So if we get more, that's what we call gravy on top of the steak.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, Coach Pete, speaking of retirement plan, it's time for us to open up the phone lines again.
Sure.
Do you want to tell the viewers what they can expect to receive today?
Yeah, well, like I said, I've written 8 books. You can get 3 of them or more. If you read them, I'll give you more. I've got DVDs, I've got workbooks, I've got box sets on the 401k. It's called the 401k Survival Manual. It's got a DVD, workbooks, guidebooks, worksheets in there. It's a $300 value. I'll give them that. I'll give them a disc on retirement called Retirement, the disc on retirement. We've got the Power of Zero major motion picture DVD. It's a Blu-ray.
Okay.
But more importantly, there's a golden ticket in there for your no-cost, $1,000 value consultation with me and the team, just to make sure you're on the right path or getting you your original path. Whatever you want, folks, we'll do it for you in the financial world, and make sure you understand fully where you are right now, but more importantly, what your retirement will really look like.
Okay.
'Cause then let's plan that retirement. Let's have a great retirement.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach Pete. To the viewers at home, the phone lines are now open. Please call the number on your screen. We know you want to have the opportunity to actually meet with Coach Pete and talk about your retirement goals. Again, please call the number on your screen. We have to take a very short commercial break, but when we come back, I'm going to have more questions and answers with Coach Pete about planning your perfect retirement. Please stay tuned.
It really does take the worry out of living in retirement if you get a true income plan built into your total plan. And that's why we try to future-proof your portfolio. Look at what you want to do in the future. Make sure you have protected money, protected from inflation, protected from risk and taxation, to make sure that you get that income all the way through retirement so you can do what you want to do. Because that's what retirement's all about.
Coach Pete, Coach Pete, financial advice, the likes of which can't be beat. Coach Pete, Coach Pete, financial advice, the likes of which can't be beat. So it's time, yeah, it's time for Coach Pete.
Welcome back to Financial Safari TV. My name is Cynthia Defazio, and I'm joined today by Coach Pete. He is better known as the People's Choice. Coach Pete, I love our time together. I want to ask you a question. I know we're winding down, obviously, this week, but let's talk about the wealthreportcard.com.
Yeah. There's so much volatility in the stock market. We admit that, and we know that everyone should not have all their money in there. But a lot of times we don't know where we should have our money or what we understand or don't understand in the financial world. And many times we're afraid to ask somebody because we don't want to sound stupid. So then we try to go to the search engines and try to search terms, but then you get sold things like search engines are loaded with sales things in there. Like
yes.
It'd be great to get information, but all the information seems to have a twist or an angle trying to get you to do something. Wealthreportcard.com is a place where you can go in the privacy of your own home and pick a couple topics there and see what your knowledge is and get a grade. And then it'll help you identify what you really need help on.
Okay.
There's 10 big topics in there. So wealthreportcard.com, it's a really, I like it. It's a great educational site, but it's a way for you to basically be honest with yourself, folks. I mean, and then we can help you. If you don't know something, it's better to ask an expert or somebody who can explain it to you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people have so many questions about how to plan for retirement, but Coach Pete, they probably didn't know where to go, which is why your show is so invaluable.
Well, it's just, we give people a lot of starting places. Another one is PeteOnDemand.com. My name, Pete. OnDemand.com. There's a lot of DVDs up there. You can watch them. There's a couple audiobooks that are for sale on Amazon, but I give them free on my site.
Okay.
So as a financial guy, I think it makes more financial sense to go to our site and download the audiobooks for free than go to Amazon where we sell them there.
Sure.
So
sure.
PeteOnDemand.com.
I love
and
that.
a whole lot of information. Financial calculators there where you can guesstimate based on what you have put aside now, what your income's going to be, and then we can also educate you further on that if you have questions. But if you visit there, you can request a golden ticket for a $1,000 financial plan done for you at no cost or obligation as well.
That's amazing. Why do you have such a passion for helping others? Where does that come from, Coach Pete?
My parents are educators. Dad's a college professor still. Mom was a school teacher for 27 years, 7th grade. She had her hands full. When the kids started getting bigger than she retired. But I take an educational standpoint. So what we need to do is we need to make sure, because I've seen way too many dirty tricks, and I don't like dirty tricks.
Yeah.
I was one of 3 brothers, and we were always pulling tricks on each other. But that was when we were little. So I don't like, with money and your financial future and your retirement at stake, there's no room for any dirty tricks. So again, we do what's right all the time because we're a fiduciary organization. 28 and a half years, never had a complaint for a reason, because we do everything in writing.
Yeah.
We make sure to understand what you're looking for, and then we tell you, number one, we're honest. If you have $1,000 put aside for retirement, you tell me you want $100,000 a year for retirement, it's never going to happen, right? So we have to be honest with you. But many of you watching, you may think your situation's not as good, but if you have a true retirement plan, and I'm a retirement income certified professional, RICP, through the American College, we can show you, based on the monies you have put aside, what kind of lifetime income you could be guaranteed to get. Then you can build a real plan.
Sure.
Because you can build your vacations around knowing what money's going to be there for certain.
Absolutely.
And it could be more, so then you go on more vacations, not less, so you never have to cancel a vacation, unless we have COVID again.
Exactly. Then we're all
Right?
staying home.
Yeah. But we want to make sure to put you in control. The only thing we can't control is Mother Nature.
Absolutely. And how long is the first consultation with you, Coach Pete? I know we have less than a minute left.
About an hour to hour and a half, and it's all about you control the tempo based on what kind of questions you want answered. But we'll find out from you what you're looking for, what you need, look at what you have, and then do a full analysis and deliver it to you on the second appointment, showing you UFOs, unidentified financial objects, explaining them to you, and also financial termites, how we can eliminate them, but more importantly, getting you the plan you deserve. And I've also got a 3-book set for you, a box set, the DVD on retirement that I'm in. We've taken all the different aspects of retirement planning, the mistakes have been happening, put them together for here. So everything is available in the golden ticket for the next 10 people who call right now.
I love that. And I love our time together because you're filled with so much knowledge, and I love listening to you share that with the viewing audience.
Yep.
To the viewers at home, thank you so much for spending time with us again this week. We'll see you next week. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. Thank you again for watching.